Hi, my name's Leesette Turner and I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm a letter artist or a calligrapher and I love letters. So I play an enormous amount on paper and other surfaces. But I do commissions, artwork, events and all sorts of things related to writing. Calligraphy found me in that when I was little, prior to being able to write, I used to write on toilet paper and my parents used to kill themselves laughing because they never understood what all these letters were that were constantly being written on rolls and rolls of toilet paper. But then lettering and interest in calligraphy broadened out to more of a curiosity around the pens and the paper and all the alphabets, or what we call scripts in calligraphy. In calligraphy, you often talk about it being meditative. You slow your breath and you slow right down. Entrepreneurship for me is freedom, first and foremost. It's that ability to dream something and then create. Calligraphy is, for me, it's become a way of listening to myself and seeing the world. So this piece is what you would call almost square pen or square brush lettering. And it's lettering which has been screen printed onto a big banner. And it's really about peace, upolo and vrede. The problem sometimes when you have a hobby and then it's a passion and it becomes a business. In other words, you've got people, oh, Leesette, please won't you do this or write on this wall or write this piece of paper. You come to a business in a slightly different way. So initially it was, okay, it's going to pay for my pens. It's going to pay for, and that's how it started. At a very low period, a friend of mine said, Stub Africa. And I thought, okay, well, it's South African. And a lot of what I do is about supporting local. I needed to send an invoice urgently. And I started to load this invoice and I thought, my word, this is an intuitive package. It's the first accounting system I have ever used that has been intuitive. I can look quickly and see how much I've made per month or how much I've spent. I once had a problem on a Sunday and I sent off a little please help me email and I was like shattered because 10 minutes later somebody responded. And I would challenge many people to come up with an online system, be whatever it is, where you actually have support. So some people think that calligraphy is only written with a pen or a fountain pen. But let me show you some of the other tools you can use to write calligraphy. So this is a parallel pen, which is essentially a fountain pen. And some calligraphers don't like fountain pens, but this is a fantastic pen to write with and to use when you're on the go. So this is a brush pen. You can also use it to go to expressive calligraphy. This is a ruling pen, which is an antique ruling pen. And it's fantastic for writing expressive letters. My advice would be, first of all, believe in yourself. You can do this. As long as your idea is good or different enough, in other words, that it's not so me too, that you're going to battle to find your niche. But believe in yourself. There's only one of you. Write your own song, do your own thing, and then use a package from the very beginning, like Stub, that helps you to track your expenses. Because it's one thing to start a business, and it's a second thing to actually understand your expenses and what's going on. And then the other bit of advice is that it takes 3 years to really get there. So if you break even after 3 years, you've made it, but stick with it until that point.